Hi, we are going to present our comprehension activity. We're going to present the comprehension activity of nature of life. Our teacher is Ricardo León Cosa Garcia, and the members of the team is Brandon Alberto Olivares Treviño, Sofía Berlanga Davila, Octavio Aguayo Mancha, Valeria Osornio Padrón, Jacqueline Villagrán Guillén, and me, Marcelo Sánchez Rios. We choose the topic about viruses. So first we need to know what is a virus. A virus is a non-cellular particle made of genetic material and protein that can invade living cells. It gets inside a cell and often destroys it. And some of their characteristics is that they are non-living, they are non-cellular, they contain a protein code called the capsid, they have a nucleic acid containing either DNA or RNA, and they are capable of reproducing only when they are inside a host cell.
What do viruses look like? Viruses are unusual and different from other things in nature. Viruses come in variety of shapes. Some may be helical shape like the Ebola virus. Some may be polyhedral shapes like influenza virus. Others have more complex shapes like bacteriophages. Parts of the virus. At the top we have the hand. This contains the DNA. Then down we have the neck, and a little bit down it's the collar. Then we have the whiskers that are those like pikes, and then we have the tail tube that are those like circular things, and then we have the paste plate, the tail pins down, and we have the tail fiber.
Classification of viruses. Type 1. Double standard DNA. This type gets into the host nucleus before it begins to replicate. Use the polymerases of the host to replicate its genome, therefore, it is highly dependent on the host cell cycle. One example is the herpes simple virus, as the image says. Type 2. Single-stranded DNA. The ssDNA viruses include some of the smallest and simplest viruses, with genomes only approximately 2 to 6 kb in length. One of these viruses is the familiar dog pathogen and the canine paravirus. These small viruses rely on the host cell for much of their replication machinery.
Type 3 are double-stranded RNA. Double-stranded RNA have frequently been identified in various health plants, from algae through to higher plants. Most of these double-strand RNAs have no obvious effect on the phenotype of their host plants. They are present at a constant low concentration in the host plant, and they are efficiently transmitted to the next generation via seeds, but their horizontal transfer infection to other plants has never been proved. The type 4 single-stranded RNA is the simplest form of genetic molecule and constitutes the genome in some viruses and presumably in primitive life forms. These viruses have positive sense RNA genomes, which means they can be read directly from ribosomes and translated into proteins. These are divided into viruses and polycitronic mRNA and those with complex transcription.
Type 5. Negative sense single-stranded RNA, ssRNA viruses. This type may have segmented or non-segmented genomes that are to be blamed for painful, grave viral diseases such as measles, rabies, influenza, Crimean Congo, hemorrhagic fever, Ebola, and Lassa fevers in both humans and animals. Their multipotent enzymes called RNA-dependent RNA polymerases, RDRPs, transcribe and replicate the viral genome in the host. Type 6, positive sense ssRNA reverse transcriptase viruses. In this type, the RNA is converted to DNA by reverse transcriptase, and then the DNA gets into the host genome for subsequent transcription and translation. HIV is an example of these types of viruses.
The type 7, double-stranded DNA, reverse transcriptase viruses. Only two groups, calimiviruses and badnaviruses, possess genomes consisting of double-stranded DNA because these viruses replicate via an RNA intermediate and require a virus-encoded reverse transcriptase. They are referred to as pararetroviruses to distinguish them from the retroviruses, which have an RNA genome. The vaccines. A vaccine is a type of medicine that trains the body's immune system so that it can fight a disease it has not come into contact with before. Vaccines are designed to prevent disease rather than treat a disease once you have caught it. A weakened form of the virus which will allow your body to better fight it off when exposed to the full-blown virus. Thanks for your attention.